Welcome to a new session on Operation Research. In project management, up to so far, we understood what is a network diagram, what is a network analysis, what is the major key terminology to draw a network, what is a CPM and history, what is the application of CPM, what are the advantages and disadvantages of CPM, and how we calculate a different types of float by using a critical path method. And what is the history of PERT? What is a main key terminology of PERT? And PERT is how differ from CPM. We already learnt in previous lectures. Today we will learn a PERT example. So now we will move forward for the next example, PERT example. So here data is given for the PERT example. Here the different activity is given, predecessor activity is given, and for that time TO, TM and TP is given. What is TO? That is optimistic time. What is TM? That is mean time, and TP, that is a pessimistic time, right? So according to that, we have to calculate our expected time, that is TE. First we have to draw a network diagram based on the activity, then we have to find out the TE, and after finding out the TE we have to find out a critical path and find the various duration, variance and Z we have to find out. And here another question is given, the probability that the project will complete within 11 weeks. Means we have to find out the probability for completion of project within a 11th week also, right? So now we will draw a network diagram. So here the activity is given. For activity A and B, there is a no predecessor activity, right? So now we have to draw first 1 to A, 1 to 2, there is the activity A indicated, and from 1 to 3 we have to indicate activity B, because there haven't any predecessor activity. Clear? Now activity C, which is dependent on A, and activity D is again dependent on A, means we have to draw two arrows from point to node 2. So from point node 2 we draw one arrow, that is point on node 4, we indicate activity C, and again we indicate here 2 to 5, that is activity D here. For activity E, predecessor activity is B, so we calculate that and we draw the equation over there, that is a B, right? Why we joined at node 5? Because activity G, which is dependent on D and E, means here D and E, means from point 5 we draw a G. Before that we have to draw a F, means predecessor activity C, so here we can draw a F from that, right? And here from 5 to 6 we draw a activity G. So complete of network diagram. Here point 1 is start event, node 1 is start event, and node 6 is a end event, and we draw all network diagram and all activities on network diagram. Now we calculate a expected time. So here we get expected time. So here we find out. So here we find out a TE. What is the meaning of TE? That is expected time. And in expected time equation, that is TO plus 4TM plus TP divided by 6. So here all the TO, TM and TP values are given. So according to that we find out the TE for all the activities, right? And after finding out all activities, we find out the variance. What is the equation of variance? That is TP minus T0 divided by 6 whole square, means TP 10 minus T0, that is 3, right? 10 minus 3, that is 8, divided by 6. 8 divided by 6 means 4 divided by 3. So 4 divided by 3 square is 16 by 9, right? So according to all activities we find at activity G, equation is 7 minus 1, that is 6. 6 by 6, that is 1. 1 raised to square is equal to 1. So for all activities, first we find out TE, that is expected time, and then after we find out the variance. Variance equation is TP minus T0 by 6 whole square. Now for according to the TE, we find out the critical method also, a critical path also. And for critical path, what we have to find? We have to find first EST LFT or EFT LST. So for that, we take a same diagram over here, and we give for activity A, that is the equation 4, that is the time required for complete activity is 4. Here B, that is 3. Here C, that is 2. All the time duration mentioned respect to the activity we have to indicate over the diagram. Clear? So now we find out the EST and LFT. So what we have to do for EST, we have to start from 0 and end at maximum value, right? And for LFT, we start from the end and complete it at a minimum value. Clear? So now we calculate the EST over here. EST first activity is, that is 0. For node 2 activity, after activity A, that is value 4. Clear? For B3, that is value 3. Now 2 to C, that is value 4 plus 2, that is 6 over here. And for this 11, how we get 11? So here 3 plus 6, that is 9. Here 4 plus 7, that is 11. Which one is maximum? That is 11. So we have to indicate EST as 11. Now we calculate over here 6 plus 4, that is 10, or 11 plus 2, that is 13. So we have to take a maximum value as a 13 over here. Now we calculate all EST value of respective activities. Now we calculate LFT. So what we have to do? We have to start finding out the LFT from here at node point 6. So we have to take the same value as we get in EST. So that is 13. Now move forward for the activity 2, 5 and activity 4. We can get 30 minus 4. Here the value we get 9. Here the value we get again 11. So here 11 and here we get 9. Now again at equation number 2. 9 minus 2, that is 7. And here 11 minus 7, that is 4. Which one is minimum? So 11 minus 7, that is a 4. That is a minimum value. So we have to indicate over 4 value. And for that, here 11 minus 6, that is a 5 value. So here 4, here we can get 5. Again at node 1, 4 minus 4, that is 0, and 5 minus 3, that is 2. Which one is minimum? 0. We have to indicate over here. So now the question is, what is the critical path? Here we mentioned ADC, critical path. In last lecture we see how we finding out the critical path, at where path or at where direction of completion activity or project we get the maximum duration. That is our critical path. So here let's check A4, 4 plus 7, that is 11 plus 2, that is 13. Means A, D and G, that is a critical path of our example. Clear? And expected time is at 30 weeks. Perfect. So let's check for 1 means BEG, that is 3 plus 6 plus 2, that is 11. So it is a less than 13. Again A, C and F, we can get 4 plus 2 plus 4, that is 10, which is minimum from or which is lesser than the 13. So we calculate over that and we find out the critical path as a 13 weeks. What happened? In CPM we get accurate value, accurate projection time. So in that time we have to change in any small activity, it will affect whole project. But in PERT what happened? That is, we can get here expected time, not a perfect time, expected time. Maybe expected time vary or not, right? So now we calculate a standard deviation in next slide. So here the standard deviation. What is the standard deviation? Sigma is equal to summation of activities of variance. Here which activities of variance we have to take? So here we take a activity in which a critical path we get. So here critical path A, D, G. So we have to consider A, D and G activity for the standard deviation. So here for A variation we already find in last slides, previous slides. So for A activity that is 16 by 9, for D activity that is 25 by 9, and for G activity that is 1 value. So we put all the value in a sigma means 16 by in under root 16 by 9 plus 25 by 9 plus 1, we can get 50 by 9. So sigma we can get 2.357 value. So standard deviation is equal to 2.357. Why we have to find out the standard deviation? Because we have to find out the probability or z-score, and for finding out the z-score we require a sigma. So now we calculate the z-score here. So now we calculated z-score. So what is the z-score? Here we have get a targeted value as 11 weeks. So that is a x. So what is the equation of z? X minus t by sigma. T is expected time, sigma is equal to standard deviation, and x is equal to our targeted weeks. So we have to put that value over here. 11 minus 30 divided by 2.357, we can get minus 845, means approximately 0.85. So how we calculate the probability? Already we seen in last lecture. What we have to do for z-score, we have to take and we have to check the table in which we have to consider 0.85 value of z, and according to that we have to find out the probability of that. So let's see in same table we consider over here. Where is the 0.85 value? Here 0.85 value is there, and what is the value of z? Size z, that is a 0.8025, means here probability for 8025. So 8023. So what we have to do, we have to subtract that value from the 1. So here we can find probability of z value, that is a standard normal distribution table, and a probability for the value z is equal to 0.8023 according to the 0.85. So we must subtract that 0.8023 from 1. We can get probability as a 0.91977. We convert into the percentage, means probability will be completed for the 11 weeks will be 19.77%. Clear? So this is a basic, a simple explanation of a PERT diagram. I think you got my point. Clear? So what we have to do in the critical path method, we have to find out the different float. Here what we have to do, here we have to find out expected time, standard deviation, and if any targeted weeks will be given, then we find out the z-score. And for z-score, we select based on z-score, z value we select from the standard normal distribution table size z value, and according to that we have to find out the probability over there. Clear? So in next lecture, we have to learn as a advantage of PERT. What is the advantage of PERT? It compares the manager to plan, which helps them to see how pieces fit together, means project evolution or program evolution and review technique, means each and every time they review and evaluate that project, and according to that they plan or changes that plan. So how pieces fit together, that is the main key parameters of PERT. Each subcoordinate manager has to plan the events for which her or she is responsible, right? Where he or she is responsible. Now it concentrates on critical elements that may need a correction over there. It makes a possible kind of forward-looking control over there. The network system with its subsystem enables managers to aim reports and pressure for the action at the right spot and level in the organization structure at the right time. Clear? Now what is the disadvantage of PERT? Because of its emphasis on activity time, so its operation, PERT is not useful when no reasonable estimate of time schedule can be made. Means if we can't schedule a expected time schedule, so that is not possible to complete a project in PERT. And another disadvantage has been its emphasis on time only, but not on a cost. Again, that is a difference. CPM, what we have to do in CPM, it emphasizes on time as well as cost, but PERT is only emphasis on time, not on cost. There is a major difference between CPM and PERT. Clear? So next lecture we have learned a network crashing. Thanks for watching.